لا تنسوا الاعجاب بالفيديو والاشتراك في القناة تشجيعا لنا لنستمر بنشر المزيد إن شاء الله.
I'll look around, I'll see someone training shoulders, and I always see them making a few mistakes when they do any type of lat raise. Now, the first big mistake is using your traps to assist in the lift. Now, when you're doing the lat raises are so great for building the side of your shoulders, really getting those bolder shoulders and wider shoulders. Now, another huge mistake is pushing up instead of pushing out. So that's gonna go hand in hand with the trap training tip. Now, if you think about if you're doing a lat raise, pushing the weight out instead of pushing the weight up with your traps, such a game changer. And the third tip is think about a slight rotation of the elbow where at the end of every single rep, your thumbs are pointing down. Now, that little tweak in your shoulder training and doing that for 10 sets per week is going to blow up lifting. Now, I want you to think right now, the last time that you trained a legging muscle group, let's say it was chest. Now, you know your chest is a little bit weak, so what do? You load up the bench press with as much weight as you can, you have really shitty form, and you do maybe like the 3 to 5 rep range, just to prove to yourself that you can lift that heavy weight. Now, what's really interesting is all the times I trained with Charles Glass, we did every single muscle group probably a good 5 to 10 times. We always stuck in the 12 rep range for the most part, and sometimes even more reps if we're doing something like a drop set or a superset. Now, bodybuilding, if you're working out to build a muscle for aesthetic reasons, is not powerlifting. And the goal of bodybuilding, if you want to build your biceps, your chest, any muscle group, you want to take that muscle until failure. Now, I remember one time I was on the preacher curl machine and I was using my head and my neck to really assist and make it a lot easier on myself. So Charles kept on telling me, keep your head still and keep your head back. And I started doing it. It was so much harder. I had to do less weight, but guess what? I felt it in my biceps so much more. And the end result of me doing the proper form, not cheating the repetition, is gonna help me grow my biceps so much faster than stroking my ego, having really shitty form, and just trying to prove to myself that I can do more weight. So remember guys, bodybuilding is not powerlifting. You want to make it as hard as possible on the muscle. And it's fine to go heavy and challenge yourself, but focus on taking that muscle until failure in the 10 to 12 rep range for most of your sets. Form and the activation with every single muscle group. So with biceps, for example, when I started training with Charles Glass, I learned that for me personally, I felt the most activation and an incredible bicep squeeze when I started doing swoop curls. It was very counterintuitive. I would have never thought that bringing my elbows up instead of keeping my elbows stationary would have given me a better bicep pump. But I started going heavy on this exercise and failing in the 10 to 12 rep range, and I brought up my arms so much. And if you missed my video on the 5 mistakes that I corrected to grow my arms 5 inches, make sure you check out that video if you're trying to grow your arms, because there is so much gold also in that video. Now with triceps, this was a big one. Now I would always do tricep press downs and I always have my wrist kind of cocked back. Now Charles had me switch my form where I was keeping my hands straight and really positioning that hand and the wrist straight at the bottom of every single rep. And I felt it so much more on the side of my triceps. On the rope triceps, really twisting out at the top of every single repetition. Felt it so much more in my triceps, those little form tweaks with every single muscle group. Now with leg training, with quads especially, he told me that say you're doing the leg press, say you're doing a leg press, instead of locking out at the end of every single rep, if you go 2 to 3 inches from locking out, it keeps tension directly on the quads and you're gonna feel this so much more. It's always the little tweaks, guys. Now, there's so much gold in all of the Charles Glass workout videos, so I recommend if you have not done so yet. 2 more huge tips with back training. Really getting a full stretch of the lats and really squeezing. So stretch and squeeze with every single repetition on the lat pull down, even doing something like behind the head lat pull down and getting that full stretch and that full squeeze where I'm keeping my elbows forward, incredible. And with chest training, learning to adduct in an inclined position to really activate my upper chest has helped me so much in my aesthetic development. So there's always little form tweaks that you can do with every single muscle group. So I challenge you to master the small details with every single workout. Only doing what the generic personal trainer will tell you, only doing, say, a push-pull leg split and only doing the basic exercises, that's great. It's gonna build your foundation the first few years. But if you really wanna take your physique to the next level, you really wanna maximize your performance in the gym and maximize every single workout, be open to new exercises. Be open to new intensity techniques. Be open to new training splits. Be open to new ways of doing common exercises. Let's say, for example, the dumbbell one-arm row, an exercise that I see done wrong so many times. A lot of you guys, you're just sort of like rowing up like this. When I did the dumbbell one-arm row one day with Charles Glass, he actually had me start from the ground and I pulled all the way across my body where I was going across and my elbow was coming back. The best lat pump I had ever got doing the dumbbell one-arm row. And every single day I go to the gym, I see people doing the dumbbell one-arm row completely wrong. I never see people doing this form. But if you just change it up from the status quo for a few workouts, you tried some of these outside the box form techniques, you do some of the intensity techniques that I teach you guys with, say, the balloon method, don't think that you just need to follow the status quo. Like doing the basic training splits and the basic compound exercises, those are